Tom Brady is 2 games under 500 for the first time in his career as a starting quarterback. That happened last night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now 3-5 in this campaign. That I picked them to go back to the Super Bowl and lose to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Sure did.
And lots going wrong in Tampa. Absolutely lots going wrong. And when you face a team like the Ravens, and you face a team that can run at you, and they come out and throw it at you, and you still have the lead at halftime because you scored your first quarter touchdown at home of the season, and you still lose. There's lots going on, lots going wrong. And you must tip the cap to the Baltimore Ravens who, you want to talk about banged up. Once again, running backs dropping like flies there. And Mark Andrews tried to answer the bell on the short week and couldn't stay in the game. And Isaiah Likely, Coastal Carolina's Isaiah Likely, showing in and showing up and showing out. And the Ravens come out with that win, and they are 5-3, and they will sit back and watch that Week 8 finale in the Battle of Ohio and watch Cleveland and Cincinnati beat each other up and hope that maybe the Browns can somehow pull it together. Isn't that amazing that the Ravens fans will be rooting for the Browns on Monday night, because that would mean the Bengals are 4-4 and the Ravens have already beaten them, and Lamar Jackson throwing it in the first half and then running it in the second half. And that's how the Ravens come out with that win last night, because for whatever reason, nothing is working on offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everything seems to be a beat slow. Every window appears to be tight. Every single time Mike Evans gets open, you're thinking, is he going to catch it? And then last night, wide open in the end zone, Brady misfired. But there was a hold on the play on the Ravens, and that's how Leonard Fournette creased the end zone, and that's been too difficult for the Bucs to see. And they just cannot stop anybody on the ground now. Yeah. And they lose Shaquille Barrett last night. Yet another carted off, boldface name carted off in an NFL game. It appears he blew out his Achilles last night. And the Bucs are now going to be without one of the top pass rushers in the league for the rest of the year. And unbelievably, they're not terribly out of things in the division. We'll get to that in a second. But we have to settle on the TB12 of it all, because he knows it. He sees it. He knows it. He knows that his offensive line has difficult protecting and run blocking. He knows that his receivers aren't getting completely open. He knows he's got tight windows he's got to throw in almost every damn time. He knows the run game isn't reliable, and he knows whatever's going on, play calling, it's not clicking, and he knows he's not clicking. He knows he's been there. He's done that. He knows. After the game, he steps to the podium, and he's asked all about it. And he gave a brutally honest assessment that everything's off. This is what TB12 had to say.
Do you feel like there's any similarities between the last 3 games in terms of the offense struggling?
I think we've struggled pretty much at everything. We just struggle in the red area, struggle in third down, struggle in the run game, 2-point plays, short yardage, backed up, start the first quarter, start of the third quarter. Not very good offensive football.
And there has been so much conversation about how gaunt he looks all year long, and how, what's the word that Ryan Fitzpatrick used? Disinterested. Dispirited is one way to look at Tom. And one word that you can call him that's never been ascribed to him: distracted. We found out today all the chatter and conversation that came out of the summer when he took a sabbatical in the middle of training camp, which he's never done. And all the rumors and conjecture, the reporting done by a newspaper in New York owned by his potentially future employer on television, about his personal life. He confirmed it on his Instagram page a few minutes before his now official ex-wife did, talking about his divorce and how he kindly asks for privacy and respect as we navigate what is to come in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you. And that was the end of a 4-paragraph statement on his Instagram, and we will do exactly that. But you have to factor it in your thinking that he's going on a Thursday night on a short week, taking on a Baltimore Ravens team. There's Calais Campbell there. There's Patrick Queen when he's healthy there. And, I mean, the man who's so known for compartmentalizing things. I thank goodness I'm, don't have to know it, right? Right.
Like I said.
But I couldn't imagine doing this gig.
Yeah. Like I said, like 2 weeks ago, he's hurting, man.
Yeah. So, put it all together, though, football-wise. I look at the statistics, I look at the game, and what leaps out at me is last night Tom Brady threw for, let me get the exact number, 44 times. Yeah. He threw 44 times last night. It was the 6th consecutive game in which he attempted more than 40 or more passes. 6th consecutive time he's done that. We talk about things that Tom Brady's never done before, like be 2 games under 500, be 3-5 this late in the season. That's the first 2. He's never had 6 straight games of 40 or more attempts. His entire career, the Bucs are 1-5 in these games. Why? Because they can't run a lick. Yeah. Since racking up 152 yards on the ground against your Cowboys in week 1 in that opening win, TJ, the Buccaneers are last in the NFL in run yards per game by at least 16 yards over or fewer than the next worst team. 49 rush yards a game.
Yikes.
Right now, their average of 61 point yards on the ground per game would be, if it doesn't improve, the worst such mark in the Super Bowl era. Period. That's it. You can't run it, and you got a 45-year-old throwing it 40 or more times, and I say that, as you know, with the ultimate of respect. Take the pressure off of Tom. He needs it. He could use it. Run it. Figure out how to run it, and run it some more, because your team suddenly can't stop it either. 173 yards on the ground against Carolina. Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard were the ones who did most of that. And then last night, the combination of Devin Duvernay, Justice Hill, Kenyon Drake, Gus Edwards, and Lamar ran it for 231 times, 204 of them in the second half. 27 rushes for 204 yards in the second half. Jammed it down their throat, including a 40-yarder to open up the series after Brady and the Bucs had to settle for 3 in the red zone to make it an 8-point game, needing to get that ball back. Had to get it back. Had to get it back. And the first run of the series by the Ravens after that is a 40-yarder by Kenyon Drake to just snap him off. The Bucs can't stop it, and the Bucs can't do it. And the it is run the ball. It's so simple. Like I said, it's sometimes a very simple game in the NFL. Sometimes a very simple game.
They try to make it hard sometimes.
Well, and sometimes it's analytics this or gut that or whatever. As you know, in the new segment, I don't get it. Last night, my guy, all Harbaughs are my guy, John Harbaugh turns down Justin Tucker, Mr. Automatic, down 10-3. 4th and 2, red zone. We'll go for it. Didn't get it. Nobody wants to take 3-pointers anymore. It's just like field goals are nothing anymore. At any rate, I don't want to go down that road. But sometimes it's a simple game, like I said for the Packers yesterday. The other 12, the other GOAT, the other team that's struggling, staring at 3-5 with a Sunday night trip to Buffalo here. Run the ball. You got A.J. Dillon. Roll him downhill on 3rd and 4th and short. Just don't care that they might know about it too. Put it on your offensive line and go. Roll A.J. Dillon downhill. Get Aaron Jones going. Take the pressure off your 12. Certainly, if the windows are tight, your receivers might not be winning the battle, even though you got Evans, Godwin, and Julio Jones had a nice night last night. It's just not working. Try something else. Take it, throw it out. Like I told Nathaniel Hackett to do with Russell Wilson now coming back in London. I mean, these are just my observations sitting here from this chair watching football and knowing as much as I've been able to glean over the last 2 decades. Just make it simple. But that's the problem for the Bucs. Everyone's going to be, what's wrong with Brady? What's happening with Brady? Is it his personal life? Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely distracted and off. And part of it might be he's seeing people coming up in his face because the line hasn't been able to protect and blow open the holes in the run game. And we're all wondering what's going on with Brady. It's the run. You can't run it. You can't stop it. You can't win. That's a very simple combination in the NFL. And that's what the Bucs have a problem with. And here come the Rams. They have a problem running it. They have a problem protecting their quarterback. And they got to win this thing. Because after that, they're going to Germany to take on the NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks before a bye. So that's the way I'm looking at it for the Bucs. Run it. Run it. And one last thing on the Brady thing. Where are all the people who thought he was on The Masked Singer? How dumb do you look?
I mean, is the season over?
How dumb do you look? Seriously, TJ, I mean, come on, man.
Come on.
How dumb do these people look? Took the summer off to go on The Masked Singer. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.